Oh, we are at 7 o'clock. We have 1, 2, 3. We have everybody here.
Nice.
7 o'clock. Meeting of the Willamina School Board is now called to order. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
That or that one?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Richard. Alrighty. First up on the agenda under Board of Education is board recognition.
Yeah, we have a few gifts in front of you. January is Board Recognition Month, and we just wanted to show you a small token of our thanks for the work you do. It might seem on the outside that it's once a month, but we all know it goes way beyond once a month, and the commitment to planning for our future as a district, engagement with the community, and providing leadership, as we improve our systems to support students. We appreciate that work that you put into supporting the entire district. And enjoy some pie and support your.
I pre-filled the calendar a little.
I like that.
Yes, and April.
Building
And pre-filled with your board dates and things like that.
You need to give her more to do.
No, that
obviously she has too much on her hands.
I couldn't give you a blank
organization is definitely her forte. Certainly.
I love it.
Oh, that's funny.
There's no excuses for missing
No.
any meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
She didn't give you the call-in number, so you have to show up.
There's too many squares written in here.
Alrighty. Thank you, Carrie. Next on the agenda,
The superintendent search.
superintendent search update.
So I just wanted to give you an update where we're at with on the calendar and the timeline. There is one correction to the timeline down on February 11th. That actually should be February 12th. So that is correct in your new planner, but it is not correct there on that agenda. So that is the change on that. They came out today, and Maureen with McPherson and Jacobson met with the tribe, and she also met with the custodians and a few of the secretaries today, and also met with community. That we had a few community members that came in at lunchtime and came in, and so given the responses that we got back from Parent Square, we're anticipating even more people on the evening one. So far we've had a good turnout with all that. So we are moving right along with everything. And does anyone have any questions about that process or anything where we're at with that? I think it's moving along fine. So after they meet with the community on Wednesday, they will send out an online survey that's going to be available to the parents and staff, the online survey that they're asking in these meetings and stuff, and then they will go over those responses, and then that's what we'll have the work session over on February 5th.
Cool.
And the position was advertised today too?
Yes, it was advertised today. They did their advertising on their end, the places that they advertise on. It also should be like COSA and the ones here locally. It's on our website. It's it went live today.
And so we don't get, we won't know. As an example, 9 people applied today.
No, we will not know that. They're the ones that will be receiving the applications and stuff, and then we'll be in contact. That will be going on behind the scenes. Their first role is to kind of get all the responses gathered so that they can kind of match what people wants and needs and wishes are amongst everything, and look at the people that have applied, and then we'll go over, they'll help to kind of narrow it down with some of that, and then they'll probably be in contact with you as a point of contact, and myself with the applicants.
Cool. Alrighty. Next up on the agenda is our consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
A second.
The motion to approve the consent agenda as presented has been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments for board discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All those in favor of approving consent agenda as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion is passed. Next on our agenda is our superintendent's report.
Well, we didn't have a whole lot of work days since the last time we met. Half of those were vacation days for our students, so not a lot of activity happening at the school. But some of the things that have been completed since we last met, the furniture was ordered for the new building. That should be trickling in, probably as early as next week. We'll start to receive that. We're still very optimistic about moving in at the end of the semester, so that would be like January 22nd, around there. We're really waiting on PGE to make the electrical connections. They said hopefully by the end of January that would be happening. So right now, you know, the rooms are painted, they're insulated, sheetrock, textured. They're just, the only thing really left to do is the ceiling, because they're installing the fire suppression system. And so once that's completed, they'll sheetrock that ceiling and finish that up, paint. But you walk through, I'm hoping this time next year or this time next month, we might be able to do a little walkthrough with you and show you the interior space. We got our audit back for the 22-23 school year. I included a few pages my go-to pages that I really go through and look at with kind of the fine-tooth comb. They're what I use as I project next year's budget. But it really helps me look at what our revenue is for all funds, our revenue for our general fund, and then our expenditures for building next year's budget. We had a extremely healthy ending fund balance. Lisa put together a pretty cool graph that shows our ending fund balance over the last 20 years, and we have it has been growing steadily, which is not usually the scenario that most school districts are in. I've mentioned many times I attribute a lot of that to being one campus and the savings realized, but we've also had some amazing luck with grants, or competitive grants, not just the traditional federal grants. In fact, I don't know if I shared that we just received notice that we were successful with a $225,000 CTE revitalization grant. That's our third time receiving that, and you know, every time we apply for it, we say, "Oh, I don't think we'll get it. They're not going to give it to us again." And yay, we got it again. So that's really exciting, and it allows us to do some pretty amazing things in that program that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do. But all in all, you know, this ending fund balance, we do target much of those funds into reserve accounts. For instance, we have a PERS stabilization. We do have a pretty high PERS liability. And so we have we put money in a PERS stabilization fund in addition to making our PERS payment every year. In the event that that PERS bill is more than what we've budgeted for, we put money in a building maintenance fund to maintain our big ticket items like roofing, boilers, road maintenance. And this year we started a athletic field maintenance fund. Just after doing the new track, we want to make sure that when the time comes to resurface, repaint, that we have funds dedicated to do that. But if you have any questions on those audited pages that I included in here, you will all get a copy of the complete audit. We just got it, I think it was Friday, during break, we received it. So they submitted it, it was due December 31st and it got submitted December 30th by the auditors. So we received it shortly after that. In addition, I've included the calendar, the district leadership team. We worked on the calendar tonight. I think we've got it pretty set. We are going to share two drafts to our staff to make some decisions on parent-teacher conference dates. But I believe that we will have one finalized by the staff for your approval by February rather than March. And the other thing on that we need to do, and we might be able to get a little bit done in the work session, but to be thinking about, I've got a meeting tomorrow with our bond counsel and Piper Sandler. Their expertise is working with school districts on creating the language that is on the ballot. So I've got a meeting with them tomorrow and we will be working on our bond title and our bond message. But thinking about projects, I did share an email with all of you that we were successful with the Awesome Grant. So we are guaranteed to get a match for whatever, in the event that we're successful with the bond, the election process, and our voters approve it, we are guaranteed those matching funds by the state. But we do need to have a very detailed bond message of what we're going to spend that money on. You know, the number one priority, of course, is classrooms, but we do want to dedicate, I do not think that will take the entirety of the $5+ million, but we would like to dedicate some funding for safety improvements, particularly our traffic flow. I talked to a gentleman from ODOT, and we actually can have another access to the Highway 18B. So, you know, we've always been told that there just wasn't a safe spot to put another access off of Highway 18. He said, but the rules are that every landowner gets a driveway. And we do not have a dedicated driveway off of Highway 18B, and we do have land that fronts Highway 18B in between where Burr's driveway is to where Alger's driveway. That property on Highway 18B is the school district's. The issue is that if we came up from there with the driveway, we come right into baseball, softball fields. And so thinking about but even if we didn't use one as everyday traffic, having one for authorized vehicles in the event of emergency, another way to get off of this property isn't a bad idea. So that was something I think that, and further in this meeting, we're going to schedule a maintenance oversight committee. By the way, David, did you hear you were elected to be on that committee? I think this gentleman right here nominated you for that. But we will be scheduling a meeting. I would like to do one in the next few weeks before the end of the month to discuss this stuff more thoroughly.
Okay.
Was it the meeting you were absent?
Yeah, but you
That's
missed
what
the meeting,
happened.
so you-
How was Henny?
So, you were voluntold, and we all
Voluntold,
seconded
yep.
it. Yep, and we all voted on it.
Same way does it work. All told to do stuff.
And that's it for me. Thank you. Any questions?
You brought up the road maintenance.
Yeah.
How much of this road out here, the main road coming up, how much do we own?
We own everything from the stop sign to the school.
And how many houses are up here on top?
That would be an April question. They do pay us a very
Small amount.
small amount for maintenance,
Okay,
for access.
what I
Yeah,
was-
we have a solar drive maintenance fund that, you know, I think it's $100 a year, or it was at one time.
Yeah, unless you're on a fixed income,
Yeah.
it's 50, but, yeah, that is something that we'll have to look at soon, because when they first wrote up all of that. It was a 20-year document, and we passed that 20-year document, so we'll probably have to get some legal counsel at some point. Also, I know there's been more construction up there, and so we just need to get all of that updated, so.
And I do know actually the Paven family that's up, he stores his equipment up here,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
and they're very good.
He's done some work for us.
Has he?
Uh-huh.
Legacy?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think he'd probably bend over backwards and help with anything else that we
Yeah.
have.
He
any.
might be a good resource, at least to give us an idea of what kind of cost we would be looking at
And
distance-wise.
they could probably nail it
Yeah.
pretty good because they used to all work for Knife River,
Oh,
Oregon Main Line,
Yeah.
Knife River,
it's a big one.
and his son actually designs a lot of parking lots and stuff like
Nice.
that. So
Yeah, I know Craig's used him, so
good connection to have.
might be a good community member to be on maintenance oversight.
Well, they don't live here.
Oh, no, just have their
They just have their
storage.
equipment up here, and
Gotcha.
they got some cows up here too. So,
Okay, well, good to know.
but I do know them. I used to work with them.
Okay.
So
You were around Wickersham, weren't you?
yeah.
Well, they could at least, maybe, that could be another option,
Going that way, like
going
Sunshine
that way
Mountain
and
Road.
coming on to Sunshine Mountain Road.
Yeah,
As we're looking at a new agreement,
right.
maybe
right.
we could come up with something that would be beneficial both
Because
directions.
is there going to be a main driveway where they did the construction down here at the very start of it? Is there going to be a new?
No, originally they came to us and wanted an easement. They were gonna come off of the new 6th Street that extends all the way and come onto Oaken Hills, but they're not. They're coming, if you go, turn at the stop sign and go up into the subdivision, the top street's 5th Street. There's an outlet that just kind of dead ends
Okay.
between two homes. That's gonna be the
Yeah.
access to the
Okay.
new. And then there will be another cul-de-sac at the end of 6th.
Very good.
Alrighty. Next on the agenda is.
I didn't include a tribal report because we didn't have much correspondence this month, but we do have a tribal representative here. So
Oh.
if you want to give us a report, you're welcome to do that.
We've also been on break, and so there's not too much to report. I don't know if I'm stepping on any
No.
announcement you're gonna make, but we had a great day here today. Carrie invited us to participate in a in-service training that was given by the Native Wellness Institute out of Portland. And so I brought our staff from the youth education department, and we participated all day, and it was a really beneficial, valuable experience. So
Great presenters.
yeah, it's great to be part of.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next, anything else that's? Nope, not
Not
here.
that I know.
Next on the agenda is audience time. Is there anything from the audience that they feel needs to come before the board that is not currently on our agenda? No audience to report. Under future agenda items, we have work session on February 5th at 6 p.m.
And I will let you know in advance that we'll just be reviewing the responses that the McPherson and Jacobson have come up with that will be compiled to review with everyone. So we may do that over at district office, but I'll check in with everyone to see if that will be convenient or not. The executive session, February 12th, 6:30 p.m. If we do get a chance to do a walkthrough with the building, we may change that time to 6, so we can do a walkthrough and then come back and do our executive session.
And that executive session will just be reviewing all of our probationary teachers, contract status, renewal status, and any, evaluations of concern. Prior to, March is the meeting that you accept the contract renewals for each of our license groups.
Cool. Thank you, Carrie.
And then the last thing is scheduling, maintenance oversight. Is there any night of the week that's better for you?
Not really. I mean, I get home 4:30, do chores, and as long as it isn't too early. I mean, I can usually handle the 6 o'clock stuff, but any earlier than that.
We'll probably shoot for maybe like 2 weeks from today. Which would be, I think, the 25th. Is that the, no?
No, it's the
that's
22nd.
22nd, okay. Yeah, today's the 8th, right? 22nd? It's a Monday.
See, pays to show up. I wish you could put on all kinds of committees.
Is the executive session also gonna be in the district office?
No, we'll probably do, last year we did it in the staff room in the elementary
that's right.
school, and so we'll probably do that, and then we can come right out here into regular session, cause sometimes that can take a little bit longer, and
Yeah.
we'll wanna get right over here, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably just go ahead and set
Would
the
that be at
staff room
6
for that.
then?
Yeah. But if we end up doing the walkthrough at 6,
Pizza or
then,
something.
we'll probably meet at district office, go do the walkthrough.
We'll be at district office.
Okay. Alright. Anything else?
I was gonna ask Sarah, Craig and I were talking, it's gonna get cold and it's rainy. And evidently the kids can't get in to the middle school until like 20 after. Is there any way
Middle
to,
school's 8:15 and elementary's 8:20.
they're telling them 8:20 over there, or at least they had been.
I think
And there are a
it's
lot of kids
8:15.
standing out in the rain and the cold. Is there any way to get them into a gym with a supervision or?
I will mention that to Jean.
I know there are a couple of parents that had said that they had sent emails to, I think, Jamie,
Okay.
but they hadn't really heard anything back, so I said I would bring it up.
I think, haven't seen many standing around. Usually teachers let them in if they're coming really early and standing outside.
But there are a few teachers that
Yeah,
let them in,
yeah.
but there's some kids that.
God, I remember being in high school and getting here like 7:30, 7:45, just 'cause it was always open for us.
Part of it is, it's contract language and prep periods, which are very specific about, that they can't have responsibility of supervising students during their prep periods.
But what about aides? Do we have any?
Yeah, no, that's definitely viable, instructional assistants. That's what, I mean, they do usually have someone out of the covered area.
Well, I told
Super early.
Craig said they don't hardly use this covered thing that they put out by the elementary, and I said, I know there'd be a group of kids that could pick that thing up and move it over the.
It's bolted down.
Well, I know, but
But
they have wrenches.
they do at the end of the day, when parent pickup.
When they're waiting for the parents.
Yeah, when as they're getting people coming around the circle. In fact, I think they wanna do another one over there where the kindergartners do a second one. Yeah, it's more the afternoon. But those, we talked about the area between the the old existing middle school now, the current, and the multi-purpose gym, we've got that paved area. And we encumbered enough funds to do a breezeway from door to door, because the doors line up nicely. And then covering that space towards the cyclone fence, going towards the west of the property, and having kind of a outdoor classroom for middle school.
That'd be nice.
And Craig was gonna use these same people. They did a really great job, the ones that did this.
Right. There being nothing further on the agenda to discuss, the meeting of the Willamina School Board is now adjourned.